Hello bros and welcome to cxoxcxk Profile Production. Next part, Sakura Succubus 2. So let's jump into right into where we left off last time. So we found Hifumi apparently in the kitchen cooking food. Well, most guys like a woman that can cook food. I don't mind that much if a woman can't cook food, because the food I make myself is truly amazing, according to me. So if I can make food that I myself think is amazing, that's really a good plus. And standing by this saucepan and upon wrapped about an apron wrapped about her middle is Hifumi. She's the only person in the kitchen. I can't see any other staff. Is she really taking care of the breakfast preparations on her own? Hifumi, what are you doing in here? Oh, Hiroki. Hifumi smiles. If she's at all surprised to see me, she doesn't show it. Her mild expression makes it look almost like she was waiting for me. It's nice to see you awake so early. I was afraid you might be tired after that events of last night. How are you faring there? I'm doing well enough, but what about you? Why are you in the kitchen? I thought you were a guest. I am a guest, but I rather enjoy cooking. It relaxes me. When I heard that this ryokan was understaffed, I offered to help me a helping hand. I thought it would be fun. This place is understaffed? Oh yes, the head chef came down with a nasty fever at the start of this week. The staff were in quite a tizzy about it. And how did you find out about that? One of the waiters told me about it at breakfast when I first checked in 5 days ago. The meal was delayed and the food we were served was of subpar quality. The poor waitress was very apologetic. She bowed so much she almost knocked her head against my table. I was afraid she had put too much strain upon herself, the poor thing. I couldn't stand by and do nothing. I asked if I could work in the kitchen if they needed extra hands. The waitress tried to demur. Oh no, she said, I couldn't possibly impose you like that, but I insisted. I thought my way into a position as a temporary chef just for a while, you understand? When the head chef has regained his strength, I would step aside. I see. I don't think my throat is up for the reading today, but we'll continue anyway. I guess that explains why Hifumi is doing here, but... And what about the rest of the staff? They're busy preparing the dining room. I told them I didn't need any help here. I've done most of the work already. You're welcome to stay if you want, Hiroki. You can keep me company. Are you sure that's okay? I don't want to get you in trouble. I'm sure it will be fine. Nobody needs to know that you've been in here. I promise I won't tell. Hifumi raises her index fingers to her lips in a way that makes my heart thud. This kitchen is quite lonely. I would appreciate having somebody to talk to while I work. And you can give me useful feedback too. What sort of feedback? You can tell me how my miso soup tastes. Hifumi scoops a bit of miso soup up into in a ceramic spoon and holds it up to me. The liquid shimmers in the sunlight like liquid amber. I can see a small bit-sized lump of tofu lying on the spoon soaked in soup. There's a few curls of spring onions too. My stomach, desperate for food, does a somersault inside my body. I'm so hungry. Hifumi food doesn't just smell good, it looks good too. I can't resist when she holds it out to me like that. Alright, thank you for the food. I duck my head and open my mouth. Hifumi brings the spoon to my lips and I slurp her miso soup obediently. So? Hifumi smiles sweetly, still holding the spoon aloft. What do you think of my soup? Is it good? I hold this soup in my mouth for a few moments, savoring it. It soaks into my tongue What? Okay, that's a word I never heard before. Infiltrating... Wait. Okay, maybe I have to... Well, I've seen a variation of the... Well, I'm gonna read it as I think it's... Infiltrating my senses with the rich and subtle flavors. 5 seconds pass before I can finally bring myself to swallow. The soup slides down my throat and settles in my stomach, warming me from within. Ah, a sight satisfied. I only had a little bit of Hifumi soup, but that was more than enough to gauge her skills. Her cooking ability is without peer. It wouldn't be hyperbolic to say. Well, I never had miso soup, but that's one thing I'm sure of, so... Well, that was the best miso soup I ever had in my life. That's the only thing you can say, technically, if you never had it. That was the best miso soup I've had in my life. My. Do you really think so? I don't just think so, I know so. The blend of flavors is exquisite and the tofu really adds to it. I thought my mom's miso soup was good, but yours is better even than hers. You're incredible. Oh goodness. That is quite a compliment. I'm not sure if my humble miso soup deserves such praise, but thank you, Hiroki. I appreciate your kindness. I'm not just being kind, your cooking is out of this world. What did you use to make this soup anyway? Oh, nothing special. I added some finely chopped tofu and green onions. But the secret ingredient is love. Love. Yes, indeed. Whenever I cook, I try to picture the people who will eat it. If possible, I would like it if my food could make them smile. I think that is what makes my food taste good. I see. Who do you usually think of when you cook? Now that is an interesting question. Sometimes I think of Marina or of my cute little sisters. I even think from time to time of my fans. But this morning while I was cooking, there was one person whose face kept surfacing to my mind over and over again, and that's gonna be me. And that was? You don't know? If my eyes crinkled in the corners? It was you. Me. The miso soup was made just for you, so I hope you eat a lot of it at breakfast. Devour my food and think of me the whole while. Nothing in this world would bring me more joy. After my brief TTT with Hifumi in the kitchen, I make my way to the dining room. Marina, Ayu and Cousin must have woken up already because I find the 3 of them there dressed and waiting for their breakfast. Once the food is served and we eaten our fills, I decide to go for a walk through the garden. I like being with customers, Ayu and Marina, but sometimes it's nice to be on my own. There's nobody else in the garden, which means there's nobody to disturb me. I breathe in the clean mountain air and luxuriating in the simple stretching of my legs. It sure is nice to get away from the city. I have to make the most of these days. Come next week, I'll be back to the daily grind. I bet my boss will inundate me with work the moment I get back to the office. I have a headache just thinking about it. I can't believe this. I finally got away from my boss, but I can't stop thinking about him. He's infiltrated my mind. I sit down on the bench overlooking the ornamental pond and let my fingers fist in my hair. I would like to visit a traditional Japanese garden sometime. I mean, if I ever go to a vacation in Japan, I want a traditional old school time there. I don't want to like have a up-to-date hotel room or so. I want the old school one. That's one thing I'm sure of. Why can't I just relax? I don't want to go back to work just yet. I don't even want to think about work. I guess I got to stick with my job for now though. I always liked photography. It was my hobby as a teen. That's why I decided to become a photographer at Sakura daily. I'm actually pretty good at using a video camera. I mean, I videotaped my niece naming, and well, everyone that saw it says it was great filmed. So I'm pretty good with that, at least. People who say you should try to get a job in a field you like. That way you never have to work a day in your life. Foolishly, I believe them. That's actually true, though. If you always do something you like, you never get tired of it, and it's not really feels like work. I like how to do a lot of things, so most kinds of work suits me. While I still enjoy photography, my passion for it is starting to wane. It's hard to stay enthused about something when it becomes an obligation, and it's even harder to enjoy said obligation when you have an angry boss breathing down your neck. Woo me is me. At least I can stay here for a few more days. I just kick back and take it easy. Haha, that's not gonna be possible. Instead of 3 girls fawning over you, now we have 4. Beep beep. My phone buzzing. I wonder who that is. But then a lucky marine asking me to meet up, or maybe my parents asking me for the latest news. Read my life. I have a pretty bad feeling about this though. I know exactly who it be even before I slide my phone out of my pocket. Of course it is. That bastard. My boss knew I was going away for a week. I even asked him not to contact me unless it was an emergency. And there he is sending me more messages. What does he want? I scroll through his messages quickly. It's long and rambling like always, but it essentially boils down to this. He has a new job lined up for me already. My boss wants me to take some photos of an up-and-coming sports star for the article when I get back to Tokyo. He provided me some details about her, such as her name, her age, and her accomplishments. Hazel Williams, is it? Her name sounds vaguely familiar. I guess that's the icon for Sakura Succubus 3. I think she is a tennis player. My dad's pretty fond of tennis, and he likes to tell me about it whenever I go to see him. I'm not invested in tennis or sports in general, but I guess I'd better drum up some interest if I'm to meet this Hazel girl. Really though, Hazel Williams. That doesn't sound like a very Japanese name. Was she really born in this country? Apparently so. According to my boss, the message she's represented Japan in some national tennis tournaments, so she must be a part Japanese. Name doesn't always say everything. Maybe her dad's American. I wonder what she looks like. My boss has sent me a few links to various MyTube videos. I guess this must be footage of Hazel. I'm taking on vacation, but I can't hurt to check a few of these videos out. I'm going to be photographers this girl. I need to know what she looks like beforehand. Watching my play might give me a few ideas of potential poses too. When you photograph celebs, particularly sporting stars, a dull static pose or no go. Action shots are where it's all at. Let's see here. I open the link to one of my 2 videos and wait for it to load. The Wi-Fi around here is pretty spotty, so it takes a while. The video loads for a good 2 minutes. Okay, that doesn't look like it. Huh. She has a sharp tooth. But that's the next picture, so let's save, and that was all I have for Sakura Succubus 2 this time. That's it, like and share. See you next time. Bye bye!